Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Finally today we're going to be building the Pathfinder bumper. I'm super excited for that. I apologize for the voiceovers, but like I've said in my previous videos, my boss, he plays loud music and I'm not going to tell him to shut off music in his own shop so I can make YouTube videos. All right, let's get started on this. I'm going to start with my chunk of 1/4" plate and draw out what I have in my head. I've drawn out my basic size and I know it's got to be bent in the middle. Right, it's all drawn out now, starting with the known things like the winch bolt holes, so I know the winch will fit, the fair lead mount holes, and the fair lead hole. Of course, it has to say fricked. However, I think I made lowercase the r for easier cutout. It's normally an uppercase. Gave it a simple shape and design with a possible different design on the other side to see what I like best, but I like the initial design a lot better. Here are the side pieces with a basic cutout and a place to mount my end tubing pieces. I've done 2 designs to see which I like better and figure out how the tubing will go. This design will match the front plate, but the tubes may not fit right compared to the other one. Also, I think I may add some mesh into the open holes to match the grill. It should look something like this. I like that. Bumper has been removed and we will now figure out the mounting. I have the factory mounts to work with, but they're not that strong. I could add something below to the bottom of the frame rails, like a sturdy strapping of sorts, hopefully without hanging down too low. Now on to vehicle modifying to make it look right. I'll paint down here and the bumper will sit about here. I'd like to cut off this lower portion of the rad support about here and then trim back the fenders to match. Got the fender measured for straightness and all marked out. I want to end here but not have a sharp edge, so we'll actually cut it here and fold it back at the top line, then trim to the rad support to match. We'll lose this fender mount but still be able to retain light mounts. I think I got it all marked out. This corner may be tricky. I can't fold it like the flatter part of the fender. Then we'll cut straight across the rad support to the existing hole, but won't worry about folding it. Got one side of the rad support trimmed. Now we're ready to fold our fender. I've cut it into sections for ease of bending. Oh man, that looks so good. The paint cracked a little, but other than that, it'll do. From out here, you can't even tell. Okay, so good news, bad news time. Good news is I can talk again because the boss is gone. Bad news is our CAD program is updating right now and it's taking a really long time, so we can't access it to draw out my bumper, which has been changing. I'm adding some width here because I'm only making that 26 inches and it's 30 to here, I believe. I'll have to remeasure, 30 or 31. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off right here and replate it with this nice wide plate. It's going to go down and under and then bolt to the frame rail, and then there'll be one piece with this. I'll weld it on and then I'll be able to bolt the bumper through that. But in order to do so, because the bumper's only this wide and the side rails are here, I think I'll make a back piece here on the outside that will bolt to that. And then I'll also, from the front lower bar, I'll add a strap that goes underneath and bolts to that frame rail as well. So then the pulling force of the winch will mostly be in these 4 bolts right in the frame instead of these dinky little things. I mean, once I weld it here, like this is kind of flimsy and chintzy, but once I weld it here, it's still thin, but it's all in straight forwards, not side pull. if that makes sense. So I don't know, like these are still fairly flimsy, but I'll make it work. But the boss and I looked it over, and he agrees that mounting to these will be fine if we go underneath as well. Super poor camera action. Yeah. Let's do the other ones just like that, and then finish them off with a hammer, make them 90. So now I want to cut these. I want to start pretty much like right there, so it's got the highest point possible, and that's pretty much, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it's pretty much in line with the grill. The grill's slightly back, which is perfect because I don't want to have to cut anything to get the winch in here. I want to make this pretty much a factory bolt-on. Like even trimming there is kind of unnecessary for what I want to do, because it will not really wrap around a whole lot. So I want to make this just kind of almost factory bolt-on. Obviously it won't be on these you'll have to modify, but if I ever sell these in the future or something, or even sell this bumper, it'll just be well, actually I could probably just sell these ones with it and then eventually design a better, stronger one. But yeah, I want it so you don't have to cut apart your whole rad support and your hood. Like I know a lot of people, especially with the Toyotas that I work on here, they want high clearance, so the winch, they have it set pretty much at the rad, and they have to cut all this out and sometimes some of this, and then the bumper only comes out like not even as far as a stock bumper pretty much, and it's super high clearance and it's awesome, but it's a lot of modifying and stuff. So I want to try to make one. I could make one like that in the future. This one I want it to be just kind of almost factory bolt-on. And so anyways, I'm going to come from here and I want to come straight down. I already checked with a level box on the truck. The truck is sitting 0.7 degrees leaning back, so I gotta draw this at 90.7 to be straight up and down. I mean, I could just draw it at 90 and nobody's gonna notice 0.7 of a degree. Now that I said something, somebody will be like, oh, I noticed. Just to be a smart ass. I know I would. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set the level box here with this straight edge until it's the right angle, and then mark it out. 90.7 or 89.3, whatever way you want to look at it. They're both drawn up like that. And now I'm gonna zip those off, and then no going back after this for bolting that bumper on. I mean, I could weld these back on and stuff. It's what I like about metal. Nothing's fully unreversible. I mean, dents and creases and stuff, they'll never ever be perfect, but you can always weld stuff back on. Like with wood, once you cut it, it's cut. You could glue it, but it'll never be the same. With metal, I mean, still technically, I guess, the same principle. If you weld, it'll never be the same, but you can make it look like you never know. All right, only got one shot of this. It's all set up. Let's see. So to get these plates bent up there, I gotta figure out the angle. So I think the best thing is to bolt it on and then use my little angle finder thing for here, and then bend that one, and then find and do the next one. So it's about 62 degrees from right there. So if I mark it out and shoot for 60, that should be okay. Maybe a little too far. Okay, now I gotta do there straight down to this and see where that bend lies. Alright, it's in. Got some room to play. I'll bend the other one up just like this one, and then we'll get them the right distance apart. And then I'll tack all this together and bolt it up to that and see if it all lines up. If it does, then I'll tack those to the truck, take it all apart, weld everything up. They're both on. That one got bent a little crooked, but it'll flex out to it. Measured, they're pretty close. It's supposed to be 26. The top one is 25 3/4. And so once that leans out that 1/4 of an inch, they will line up nicely. Oh my God, so much yes. Just, oh, that's beauty. It's up fairly high. Decent angle, not much more than the rad support. I'm happy with that.